doing here.
Yeah.
I told Ken I had this dream that, Ken is such a presence at these meetings, and he's done so much for the Fire Safe Council. And then here I am, and my dream was nobody would show up. So
Just the opposite.
I'm glad you're all here, especially law enforcement, fire, and whatnot. Okay, first item on the agenda, and these two are gonna help me out because I don't know what the hell. These are board action items. You are the board, and we have the meeting agenda. Do we have any changes to the agenda? Anybody want anything new? Anybody up here? I guess not, so do we vote on
I would do the board minutes and do it as one.
it? Okay, and Angel says, the board minutes, which I read, excellent job, they look good, do we need a motion?
Does anybody have any corrections to the minutes?
Any corrections to the minutes?
Okay.
See, I told you. All in favor?
All in favor?
All in favor? All right. Approved. New business, we have no new business, today. And by the way, I have run meetings in the past. I try to keep them on time and moving along. So let's see how we do today. Old business, Eldorado Ready, Mr. Penn, are you here? Where is he?
Barely. Morning, everyone. Just want to give an update on Eldorado Ready. The expectation is that it will have its measured number, meaning that the Board of Supervisors has accepted that and will be putting it on the ballot in November. Well, it should have a ballot actually letter within the next couple of weeks. But what's important for this group is that the members of the Eldorado Ready Cabinet, which is, include myself, Wendy Thomas, Tom Compston, Chief Cordero, would really like the individual associate fire safe councils in their communities to come out and endorse it. And the members of the cabinet are available to come meet with your associate fire safe councils. If you're having a meeting, you want a representative there to go over what the measure is and isn't. Once again, it's a 3/8 cents sales tax to support both the seismic retrofit for Marshall Hospital and some other upgrades. But half of it goes to fire departments and a portion of it is intended for fire prevention, including the things that we do. If it does pass, it will have to go through an RFP process. Fire Safe Council is not guaranteed, but high likelihood that we may be the organization that's contracted, but we will also the entire county is involved, so that also involves the Lake Tahoe, and we will have to work that out. But the point is that we're available. If you're having a meeting, you want someone to come and meet with you, please just let us know and we'll send someone. Any questions? All right.
Yeah, the easy one. Is it 50% plus one, or is it a 2/3 since it's a monetary?
That's a really good question, and in the administrivia of political intrigue, it is 50 plus 1.
That it, Paul? Good, thank you, Paul. I'd encourage you, if you want to, I'm sure, Paul, you're gonna make yourself available, right, to speak? Paul Melonis, my Fire Safe Council, we had a little discussion with our board, and we will have Paul speak to us at our next meeting. Okay, Dorothy, you're up next. Oh, Angel.
It's okay.
Only one screw up I'm allowed today. Angel, you're next.
Oh, thank you so much, Bob. So I want to just give you an update on our new office space. After the last board meeting, we visited a new suite at 344 Placerville Drive, and the executive board felt that it checked all of our boxes. square feet, access, security, storage, and just our need for space. Over the last 4 weeks, we've been in discussion and negotiation and have come to an agreement on terms. We are planning on signing a lease very soon. The landlord will make modifications to the space, and I will share the move-in date as it becomes available. Rather than just ramble on, I wanted to know if you had any specific questions about the location or the space or anything like that. Yes, Ken?
Yeah,
Where is the reference on that, is where that building is?
The address
I don't
is
get the address, but in landmarks around that.
It's crossing the movie theater.
across from the movie theater.
Okay, thank you. Same place that you've been working on, or?
Yes, same place we've been working on for the last couple of months. The first suite didn't work out, so we looked at another suite.
Oh, okay.
And I actually think it's a nicer configuration than the original suite version.
All sounds good. Thank you. Thank you for all the work.
And I'll be looking forward to having some volunteers help us move in and whatever we need to get ready to go in there. Thank you.
thank you, Angel. Any, another?
Just one back. Are there steps or wheelchair accessible or just flat? Use the mic. First floor? First floor?
The question was, is it wheelchair accessible, you could skateboard in, you could ride your bike in, you can use a wheelchair, you can use a walker. It's completely level from the parking space into the front door, into the bathrooms, the conference room, etc.
But it's on the second floor.
Be here all day.
But it depends on which side of the building you enter on.
Correct. You have to drive around to the back of the building for the level in the front door experience. If you want a different experience, you can hike up the stairs. Does that answer your question, ma'am? Thank you.
How many of you have been in our current offices? I just want to say, I have been, I might as well, I'm next on the agenda here anyway. But let me say a few things about Angel and what she's done here in looking for offices. We were real fortunate to get the offices we're currently in right now. But the thing is, we've grown. I mean, just look at this room. And a few comments I have, having, as we would say in the Northeast, schlepped stuff in and out of that building for things like the fair and other events, and carrying that stuff up and down the stairs. No more. There's going to be ramps and you can drive right up to the front door. The conference room, the chairs are butt killers in there, and it's a tiny little conference room. And I really want all of you in the future to be able to sit in on an e-board meeting if you want to, and we'll have room to do that in the new location. Angel has been all over the Placerville area looking. She's done so much work on this, and I really think she's found the right spot for all of us, and hopefully you all get a chance to see it.
Thank you.
So, just in case you are unaware, unlike Ken, I don't come from a fire background. I come from the dark side, the media. I worked for CBS television and radio for 30 years. I was not a reporter, and I was, a fairly high-level manager in the organization, but I proudly say I didn't associate myself with news. At least I say that now. So that's my background. And but I will say that every year I did have to take CAL FIRE's class for dumb reporters who are out, covering a wildfire, and how to properly take care of yourself in a wildfire. They did. That's about as close as I've come to fire. But that's my background. about, I guess it was last fall, Paul Penn, kind of twisted my arm and then this whole group here sort of ganged up on me. Cause they were looking for somebody. Ken had indicated that he would have to leave this position after how many years? 5 years. Yeah. And so about, I guess January, I decided to start attending the e-board meetings to see if this is something I really wanted to do. And what I found was the group, and I'll include Ken and Janet in this group, along with everybody up here, just is an absolutely fantastic team, just a great group. And as you can see, these two are going to be guiding me today, because I don't know what the hell I'm doing. But it's a great group. I've learned a lot in the last 6 months. I have so much more to learn. But what convinced me to do the job was the support that we have from the e-board up here, and that includes Tanya also, and the staff. So, you know, Ken, in the last 5 years,
There's a changer that I want to watch my mattress cover,
Okay,
and then I'm gonna flip the mattress over after I put this guy on.
okay. Angel
Got it.
Yellow. So Ken, over the last 5 years, has done so much to work with the agencies that he's so familiar with, law enforcement and fire, and has really worked on the relationship with Fire Safe Council and those organizations that he's so familiar with. And that's all in place now, and I can't thank Ken enough for that. So where I'm going is I want to make myself really available to all of you. Over the last several years, I actually made a list here. I've attended, I'm actually surprised, a lot of your meetings. Just either I've been asked to speak on behalf of Sarah, or I just attend the meeting to find out how you do your things, because I found that every fire safe council, including my own, Coloma Lotus, they do things differently, and I learned something new from every group. So I wanted to note that Gallagher Road, small fire safe council, Ken back there runs it, and I've been to one of their meetings, very engaged group over there. Ockham Fairplay, I've been to several Ockham Fairplay meetings over the years. Thing I like about Ockham Fairplay is they give away wine at every meeting. I've never won it. Logtown, I was at Logtown's meeting this past Saturday, and if you want to know how to do a fundraiser, go see Logtown. Those guys really do it right. The hot dogs are great. The prizes are fantastic, and they have great mugs, and I meant to bring it today. Camino, I've been to a couple of the night outs, and I'm sure you all are going to talk about the one coming up, so I won't say any more about it. Mosquito Brandy. Anybody here is Karen here from Mosquito? Gosh, you go to a Mosquito event and they've got banners and flags, and they've got their brand all over the place, and they all have t-shirts, and they walk around the community, and the community knows who the Fire Safety Council is out there. Gold Ridge, I've been to several Sherry's events, always good speakers. Greenstone, Greenstone here today.
Janine's right there.
Janine, there you were. I did go to one of your events. And she had several speakers there, and good events. Cool Pilot Hill, everybody from Cool Pilot Hill. Yep. Lot of energy, and they're really taking off at warp speed right now. And totally reformed Fire Safe Council. Love what I'm seeing over there. Coloma Lotus, my own Fire Safe Council. I'm learning from others, and we don't do fundraisers. We've been pretty good at forming Firewise communities. We always have a great turnout at our meetings. Georgetown Divide, gosh, that event that Tamara puts together every year, awesome event. If you haven't been to the Wildfire Expo, you're going to do it again next year. Got to do it. Great speakers, free food. Georgetown and Garden Valley Fire do the food. Yeah. Rancho del Sol, I really haven't been to any of Gary's events, but I know all the folks there. And Placerville, of course. Placerville. There he is. So I may have missed one or two, but I go around. I encourage all of you to do this. This is the way to make your fire safe council better and learn from them. So the only other thing I want to say is I want to thank Steve Willis. I know Steve is here somewhere. So Steve, there he is. You may all know that Steve was up here in this position and was anybody before you, Steve? Or were you the first chair?
No.
Okay.
Pat was first.
Pat was first, Pat Dwyer, okay. So I first started attending these board meetings, just sitting in the back of the room, when Steve was running them over, and I think the first meetings I went to were over at the US Forest Service conference room. Pretty tight, room in there, it certainly couldn't accommodate this group. So that is, it for me, I just wanted to fill you in on where I'm going. If you'd like me to come to your fire safe council meeting and say something, or just sit in and watch, I'd love to go, so please let me all know, or let all of you let me know when your meetings are. So I've talked long enough. Dorothy, you're on.
Good morning, and I'm gonna do a quick infomercial. When you have your events, remember, send them to Carrie and she will post them on our website calendar. So that the public can know when and where the meetings are and or your events that are going on. It's just a great way to be able to have a central point. So that's another place to look at this point. I wanted to give a quick update on what we're calling the automation update, which is our 3 programs. Remember, we're changing the system and automating it so that it actually has a GIS mapping component that can actually then be able to be information moved within over to OWOPR with projects back and forth so we can share information. I think we're gonna ultimately, once it's built out, we will do a brown bag on that to show you as fire safe councils. We're gonna be able to get dashboards of information so that you can see where projects have been. When you do your Firewise, we're gonna be able to give you reports that only go for your fire safe council, so you won't have to get a list of, say, we have Camino has part of Placerville in there, so we don't get the zip code of everything. And then you have to go through and identify it. So there's just some really great things with automation. It's almost done. We're in the last phase of the build out for the hazardous tree program. And remember, that was done. We had contracted out with Mason, Bruce and Gerard before to run the program. We are now internally going to run that program. So that's a great step for us. It gives us better control to be able to have a more efficient service out to the public. So we're real excited about that. And all the systems then will be automated. The next automation is we will be looking at getting our home assessment program automated too, so that it's online, it's a simpler system. We're ending up with more dashboards and reports that can come out of that. So we just keep getting better and better all the time. And regarding the website, if you have problems, please let me know. Okay, whether it's in your build out or we're having a challenge with Streetline, we've had a few glitches along the way, but please send that information to me. And then if you need something posted, please send it over to Carrie. Your events, your calendars, anything that you need to go onto the website. We want to better utilize that resource, social media resource that we have. So are there any questions? And the report then.
We'll see about the outreach group.
Outreach is later on the agenda.
Okay.
So it's separate.
Screw up number 2.
I need to keep it separate.
Okay. Thank you, Dorothy. Next, we have Paul. Yeah. What am I talking about?
First you grab the mic.
No report. I told you I like to keep it short. Okay, and Secretary Angel.
Thank you. Last month, we handed out certificates for those associate fire safe councils that are in good standing. And if you did not get yours, you need to let myself or Carrie know and we'll make sure that's delivered. We're working very diligently on the contact list of all the associate fire safe council changes and the new basically roster for the 26-27 calendar year, and we will send that out as soon as it's ready. At the sign-in table, everyone should have signed in today, and at the sign-in table, you should have met Karen Coleman. She's one of our newer volunteers, so I want to thank Karen for doing that. And if you didn't meet Karen already, please do. By the time you leave. I do like numbers, although I'm not the treasurer, so there's a good reason for that. I wanted to let you know that we have 24 directors and 31 councils. So bravo, thank you all for renewing and our directors that have stepped up to volunteer. During the renewals, we had 3 associate fire safe councils that made boundary changes. That's Fort Jim, Texas Hill, and Coloma Lotus, and those have been submitted and either are updated already or being in the process of being updated on the OWOPR online mapping tool. In looking at the map, I'm very familiar with my own fire safe council boundaries, and I would just encourage you in your spare time just to give that online mapping tool a check to make sure that we've got it right. And I would appreciate it. Does anybody have any questions? Lester and then Jason.
If we do have corrections for mapping, do we send that to you?
Yes, sir.
Okay. What are the chances of getting the new mapping changes that they're correct printed?
I would defer that question to Tanya when she gives her report, because I don't print maps. We don't print maps. Thank you.
Yeah, did Dorothy?
That's it, Angel.
Our angels.
Well,
We're up number 3. And number 4, I forgot to mention Oak Hill. I've been to several Oak Hill. So Dorothy has done so much for expanding the existing councils and taking a look at where we can areas we can expand into that are currently not represented by a fire safe council. And I'll tell you right now, there's a good chunk of El Dorado Hills that is not represented, the Latrobe area, for instance. I fully intend to give some talks out in that area and see if we can get some interest and some leadership. Okay. Treasurer's report. I want to introduce Bill Rice. Bill took Karen's place. Karen
Janet.
Janet. Thanks, David. Yeah, do please keep track because I'm going to try to be better next time. And my head is just exploding this morning.
So listening.
Yes, absolutely.
And it also shows you that I'm not Ken. But I did want to mention that we have a finance committee, and Karen and David are on that finance committee, along with Bill. In my own business, I dealt with millions of dollars in capital and expense money, and I worked very closely with our controller, and having somebody who really understands the money end of the operation is very important to me. Janet certainly did, and we're really glad to have Bill, so take it away.
Thanks, everyone. I'm Bill Rice, new to the council. I've been up here in El Dorado County for 6 years now, and Paul introduced me to the group. These first few weeks for me are around continuity, and the first thing we did, Bob and I are new to the group, new to the council. We updated our signers, so the signatures have been updated. We have administrative control of the bank accounts. We have a new accounting system with QuickBooks Online, which is new, and we have a new accountant. So we have new board members, new processes, new accounting processes, new accountant, new accounting systems. And learning all this it's like changing a tire on a car that's moving. Not impossible, but it's quite challenging. I enjoy the challenge. I'm figuring things out, so I appreciate your patience as I figure things out. I'm already receiving emails, so the P&Ls for the year, reimbursement requests, and then the technical questions, which I really appreciate from the group, because if you're sending me technical questions, that means you're engaged. And very technical things as far as can we roll out more technology for the sub-councils, and then more transparency around how do the reimbursements work. And that is my first focus, continuity, and then clarity, documentation and clarity. For the June financials, that's not closed yet. Our accountant has the June statements. I took a look at the June activity. Everything to me looks in line. There's nothing extraordinary. They're gonna wait for our accountant to get that completed. Our next cycle will have June closing out FY 26 and July FY 27. And what I intend to do is use my finance committee, David and Karen, to help me review to make sure it makes sense and then distribute it. I'm learning that finance isn't new to me. I have a strong background in finance. My day job is actually doing CapEx work for a multinational company. I have a $1 billion portfolio to deliver 4 years of CapEx, 45,000 employees. And my job is designing processes and building tools to take the frustration out of my coworkers, my peers' work. And that's what I intend to bring to this group is taking out the cognitive load of putting together the P&Ls and spreadsheets and the mystery and making sure that you're able to focus on judgment and action. And I appreciate the questions. There will be a more formal cadence of things as I get to speed. So there's no numbers to review, but again, everything looks in line and I look forward to working with everyone. And you'll see me with Bob as the next few months, I will come to your local council attender meetings. I want to get to know everyone. Part of my favorite thing about my day job is learning how people do their job and what frustrates them, and then trying to remove that frustration. It really drives me. That you can just do things by email and get your job done, kind of a coin-operated person. But for me, it's the personal relationship and knowing that I help them have clarity around their job.
Any questions?
And that's right. No. As a reminder too, we all need to have our profit and loss statements in by the end of the month. And to be gracious to Bill, let's try to get them all in on time. Because I know in the past Janet has had to ask some of us to make sure that we get them in on time. So let's be kind. We're very thankful to be able to have Bill here, and they're due by the end of this month. Okay, profit and loss.
That's one quick thing. If you feel stuck, don't spin your wheels, reach out. I know that some of the stuff can be difficult to get through. And when you look at it, at the end of the day, it's super simple. So in the rearview mirror, it looks simple, but I know when you're in it and you're a little bit confused, don't waste your time, reach out. Send me an email, send me a text, and we'll figure this out.
For contact, would you be using the same email?
It's the same. It's the treasurer at EDC, FSC.
Fire safe. It's there.
edcfiresafe.org. I know that.
In other words, same email. I know that it may show up as Janet, and I'll work through that. If the email comes from me and it shows up as Janet, I'm not Janet. But I'll work through it, and I don't know how to fix that right now. I'm just trying to get the speed of things. Like, oh, you sent it treasurer, and it shows Janet, and the email back from Bill. That's the expected outcomes at this point.
Any other questions for Bill? Bill did mention something significant, and that is he has a day job. So if you send him an email, you may not get an answer back, 2 minutes later, but he will respond. Which reminds me that I asked Paul, how much time is this job gonna take? And he said, about an hour lunch.
I lied.
So, We're going to partner reports now. Okay, BLM, are you here? Cal Fire?
Fire is going to be late.
Okay, thank you, Tanya. It all looks so different being up here in the front of the room. Well, guess what? It's Tanya now.
Morning, everybody. Good morning, everybody. Okay, so a couple of things I'd like to report is first off, we have just some staffing in our office, just so everybody's aware. As you know, Jenna was expected to go on leave and now she is on that leave for an extended period of time. So we do have a part-time person that is helping with phones and responding to emails and doing some of the stuff that Jenna was doing. So her name is Maria. You probably met her if you come in. You may talk to her, but she's working really hard to try to figure things out. So as I don't have to tell you, but just remind you, be very nice to her, please. And because she's all I got. So, but we do have Jenny back from her leave, and so she can take her primary role of Weber Creek back on. And so any updates about Weber Creek that you are needing, you can get from Jenny. As far as the emergency handbooks, they have arrived at our office. We did hand out the handbooks with the help of the Fire Safe Council at the fair. And at the fair, I think I calculated, we got rid of like 800 or 900 handbooks. Not rid of, but we disseminated. And so that was really good. We just kind of pushed it out as this is all the emergency preparedness stuff that you need for the county. And it is, that's everything that they need to know. Memorize pages. I have page 22 is assistance programs. You know, you want to like be able to flip through when you're showing it to somebody and about what they need, but that handbook is going to be very useful. There have been a number of fire safe councils that have come in and gotten what they need, but I also had some brought today. I was going to say I brought them in, I did not. But they're over there in that wagon. There's 70 in a box. If you think you don't need 70, feel free to open a box and take what you think you need so that you don't want to like hoard these and not have them go out. But just, you know, you can nicely fight over what's here. We have more at the office, and you're welcome to come into the office and get what you need. And just for, I've been asked, we are at the government buildings. So when you're walking into the main entrance of the government buildings, we're on the left-hand side downstairs, and we do have signage. And lastly, I do want to announce, you may have heard of the fire risk reduction designation that just went out. We of course, El Dorado County is on that list. This is actually the second time we've been on that list consecutively. So in 2020, it renews every 2 years. In 2024, El Dorado County was designated. We were one of only 6 counties that were designated. So there's a lot more counties designated this cycle, but it just really, this is something that is awarded to, by the Board of Forestry, is awarded to public agencies and counties and cities that are demonstrating best practices in local fire planning and hazard mitigation that are in the state responsibility area of high fire severity zones. So we obviously have a lot of really good work being done as far as local planning. We did, OWOPR facilitated the application, but we worked with our county planning and building department, CAL FIRE and local fire districts to get all the information in that they needed for us to get that designation. So what does this mean? It means that, and just as a side point, and I'm just saying this because I want you guys to be able to explain this to your community when it's asked. And we had to demonstrate that we updated and are implementing our CWPP, that we are doing hazardous fuel reduction in defensible space and home hardening efforts. So our ordinance is a big part of that. And promoting strong public education, which we do a really, really good job at with our whole public outreach committee and all of our partners. And then just that collaboration. So we did have to demonstrate all of that and make sure we articulated what we're doing. And that's what got us on the list. So what does that mean? Department of Insurance says, I always hesitate at this part. Department of Insurance says that insurance companies are required to acknowledge that designation and give a discount for it. We are not responsible for whether or not that happens. So you can let people know, they can contact their insurance companies to see if they'll recognize the designation. But I think more importantly is that this gives us priority for grant opportunities. So when we are applying for CAL FIRE prevention grants or other grants, when we're able to say that we are a designated community, we are given priority in those grants. So there's the rundown of it. Our office will be releasing a press release this week. I know that there's other counties that have been doing press releases, and so I've been getting a lot of questions, but ours is going out. And thank you for all the hard work that everybody has done to get us on that list. End of my report, unless there's questions. Oh, Jason, mapping, printing. Yes, you can contact our office and we don't print them either, but we'll facilitate GIS printing you a large map if that's what you want. Every fire safe council is able to get a large map printed. And one of my grants allows us to do that. And then I can also get you a digital version of your map so that you can print as much as you want.
Regarding the. Got it. Oh, okay. Regarding those.
Stereo.
I got stereo. Regarding the FERPL, is there a certificate that comes out with that? Because we do get asked by the public. Is there some way, how do we as fire safe councils have something that we can, now we've got information to tell them about that. Thank you very much. And is there something that we can show them or give to them like we have our ROI certificates?
No. There is no certificate. It's a literal list. On the press release, we will put the link to the website that has the list.
Perfect. Yeah.
Question?
I was able to find on the Board of Forestry, CAL FIRE's website that has the signed resolution from the Board of Forestry that has the list of all the communities. So what I did was I saved it as a JPEG and put it out on social media so people can print those 3 pages out of 3 pages. And then submit that to their insurance company.
That's good technique. We'll probably put that on our website too. Thank you.
Any other questions for Tanya? We are so fortunate to have Tanya in her office here in our county. It's very unique. I did get an email here a couple of weeks ago from one of the Little Lotus folks who happened to notice the Placerville press release that they got fire risk reduction community status. And congratulations to them, but I did write back and I said, the question was, do we have it here in Alvarado County? And I said, of course we do. And indeed, we were one of the first 6 2 years ago. So be sure you get that word across to your fire safe councils. Thank you, Tanya. Colorado County Fire Chiefs Association. Who's here? My dream may have been correct. No fire people showed up. Fire Prevention Office. Well, it's
El Dorado National
Oh,
Forest.
Eldorado National Forest. Are you here, Brad? I saw Brad the other day. RCD, Courtney. Oh, my dream is coming true. SMUD. Nobody from SMUD. PG&E, Mike Webb. All right. Thank you, Mike.
Hey, good morning, everybody. Mike Webb, Public Safety Specialist for PG&E. I do represent El Dorado, Sacramento, and now Yolo counties as of the first of the year. So my duties have been stretched a little beyond what's been normal the last few years. So just wanted to go over some updates regarding PG&E and where we're at with obviously the upcoming fire season. So you may or may not be aware, but we are currently doing PSPS in PG&E service territory. A lot of the counties towards the west, Bay Area, south, down the Central Coast, down to San Luis. Well, this is the third PSPS event that we've done this year already, and it's only July. So public safety power shutoffs. Yes. So we proactively turned off the power due to extreme fire risk and quickly low humidity, high temperatures, and strong winds. So PSPS is occurring throughout the service territory as we speak. Our EOC is stood up and supporting that event. EPSS, Enhanced Powerline Safety Settings, that is the sensitivity that is installed essentially into our power line system as fire season becomes more intense. The power lines become more sensitive to ground fault. All of those circuits that are EPSS are fully enabled throughout the county. I think is what we're finding now is a few years of pain and learning that has become much more reliable. We are having fewer outages, and when we do, they are patrolled and restored much more quickly. So when we have those short-term outages on a hot, windy afternoon, that is typically an outage that's preventing an ignition, potentially, whether it's from a squirrel or tree contact or whatever. So EPSS is fully enabled in El Dorado County. We do have the most circuit line miles for this out of any county in the service territory because we have the most customers and the most acreage of high fire threat and risk in our county. So it's been a big program, and I think it's brought a lot of safety here to El Dorado County. Our undergrounding and hardening is in full steam. Many of you in some of those communities know where that work is going on right now. I could laundry list them, but I think most people know where that is going on. I would encourage all of you to take a moment, type into Google, go put in PG&E progress map. The progress map is an interactive map that shows where that work has been completed, where it is currently being constructed, and where we were going in the next several years. And I think is what you will quickly notice when you're in that map product, that El Dorado County is intensely being treated with this work, and again, more intensely than any other county in the service territory. So that investment is huge in safety in El Dorado County. Speaking of another investment, we are working with a foundation called America the Beautiful. America the Beautiful has granted, in conjunction with PG&E, $3.2 million to improve and enhance the transmission right-of-ways, where we have a co-owned right-of-way with SMUD that basically comes down from Crystal Basin through Pollock Pines, Camino, and down into Placerville. SMUD has already made a huge investment in doing some work along that right-of-way. This will completely take that out to about 1,000 feet on either side of the right-of-way, and be a huge, not just a protection from a potential ignition from the transmission corridor, but also create a fire or fuel break of pretty large significance in a pretty dangerous area. Honestly, there will be right in the heel of the King Fire in that area. So another initiative that Derek Davis, my partner who does a lot of that funding, just advised me of, we had funded 270 crew days with the California Conservation Corps. So if you are looking for crews or work on your projects, you can reach out to those CCC centers and project coordinators and ask if the PG&E funded crew days would be available to you. I'm certain that they will be. The only problem is that since the Greenwood CCC camp has been getting renovated, remodeled, I think their footprint here has shrunk quite a bit. But so you can reach into Placer or down south or Tahoe. They may have longer travel times, but I believe they would still be available to us to use. Our capacity building investments, specifically with the Garden Valley Fire Crew, is still in play. They're still doing work with funding from PG&E and out there supporting some projects I know in the Divide area. They're very active and engaged. I wanted to say thank you to Ken, Tanya, Mark and Chief Hogue for participating in the Utility Wildfire Safety Conference in May. I don't know if you discussed that probably in a previous meeting, but your engagement, your dialogue, your involvement in that discussion with the utility companies from all over the United States. Our collaboration here in El Dorado County is becoming best practice nationally, and those companies want to learn from us. So then we are learning from each other where our risk overlaps and how we do that work together. So I want to say thank you to you guys for supporting the utilities in that event. Then lastly, my good friend and other coworker, Sashi Sabaratnam, was successful in creating and working with the CAL FIRE unit plans, meaning that CAL FIRE is responsible every year for producing an annual fire plan. Many of you probably referenced that in writing your plans for your fire safe councils. What Sashi was able to do is come up with a standardized utility element that would now be a part of the CAL FIRE unit plan, fire plan. So that's kind of a big deal. Again, addressing where we have overlapping risks that can work together to reduce fire risk in our community. So I think that's kind of a big deal too. Lastly, I'll just share with you over the last 5 to 7 days, me and my partners throughout, I represent a group of people from here all the way up to Shasta County, and all the way over to the west side of the valley, or the North Valley Sierra group. We cover all those counties. I'm just going to share with you the ignitions and fires that have taken off in the last couple of days are now burning rapidly and aggressively. So we have turned on the switch for fire season. So I would just, that's just my personal observation. So just ask it, it's go time. We were there. And so I just wish everybody the best of safety and appreciate everything you guys do. So thank you.
Questions for Mike?
I'll stay.
Always good to see a great report, and I really appreciate you're here almost every month, Mike. Really appreciate it.
Change is fun, and there's a lot of change going on with the company, and it's fun to be a part of that and grateful to you guys.
Okay. I see my friends with the shiny badges. Hey, Scott.
Right, good morning. We are here, unlike Fire Guys. So, if you don't know me, I'm Stephen Scott with the kind of OAS office. Like Mike said, things are starting to get more busy now. We've actually had some small fires in our county that have required evacuations. So keep spreading the word of Ray and Perimeter, just so your fire safety councils can be aware of those programs. They're really useful. They're the tools we use to advise the community if there's a disaster. We've been getting a lot more requests for speaking at events. So we're more than willing for OAS to attend your events to give speaking about evacuation. Just this week alone, we have Saturday with Berkeley Platts event. Sunday, we have Fort Jim having an event. We're looking forward to speaking at those. So things are getting more busy for us. We also have a retirement in our office. Captain Matt Belici retired 2 months ago. We replaced him in our office with Captain Ryan Bennett. So he'll be showing up these meetings here going forward. Other things that have been happening in our office is we submitted application for a grant for rewriting or updating our local hazard mitigation plan. Sounds right now that we're just waiting for approval signatures. So that will allow us to put in these bigger grants for mitigation money going forward. That project will probably take about 3 years to update that plan, and we update about every 5 years. So it's very important rule for us. I don't think I have anything else to report right now, but if you have any questions,
I have a question.
Or absolutely.
Questions for Scott?
I have a question.
He knows he was late. We were on time.
Hi, Scott. I have a question. Yesterday, the El Dorado County Fire Safe Council received a call from a lady who wanted to do an evacuation drill in her community, and she was directed to us. I would like to know how people get on the list to be part of an evacuation drill in your organization.
It's no problem. I think she called our office yesterday too. I
Okay.
know our office did talk to her. We're trying right now to pick one community every year that we can do these drills. So in the past, we've done Logtown, we've done Illinois Hills. This last year, we just
Iron Springs.
So one a year we're trying to do right now. We've had a list. I know everybody wants one. We're just trying to prioritize areas that we are worried about and areas that we want to reach out to first. But you can send an email if your community is willing to do it. We can put you on that list and see if you guys get selected right here.
Thank you. So follow-up question. So I'm in Strawberry and I would like to have an evacuation drill, but, you know, we're talking about Highway 50 and some streets and stuff like that. So what is there something, how would I say, a job aid or some sort of outline as to what the community needs to understand without going through the full drill?
I don't have an outline for that right now. That's something we can work on. Some communities probably don't need the giant massive evacuation drill. We'll
Right.
probably scale it down to a smaller aspect of it. It just depends on how that's gonna look like. And the amount of hours we have. We are a small office.
Right, right. No, for Strawberry, I think we just say evacuate to the nearest meeting because that's where I want them to go. But, you know, that would be something if other communities had some sort of job aid would be great.
Yeah, and we also do talk to fire city councils too about evacuations. Hopefully we get them more not towards fire season, more towards like the fall or the spring where we're not so busy.
Right.
Then we could reach out and also kind of tailor that to the presentation too. If that's something you guys want to do.
Okay. Thank you.
All right, thank you.
Oh, Lester.
You don't need.
You mentioned Rave, and I thought we've been hearing that it's got a new name and trying to, so that when we talk to folks, that we're not, you know, we're being clear anyways to people. Is it ready now or is it still Rave?
Nope, so right now it's the Illinois Emergency Alerts. The Rave system is a big platform. We allow to customize it. So we customize it for Elder County Emergency Alerts. But we do have sign-up process through ready.eso.org. Through that website, and it'll bring you to that sign-up list. But it is Elder County Emergency Alerts. Sorry about it.
Tanya.
It's a comment. I'm supporting you. I want to just point out there, so they've mentioned that he mentioned he's gonna update the hazard mitigation plan. That's pretty significant. That's one of the plans that we use, that we have to use in order to justify what we're doing in the county. So the update is a very significant thing, and what's been happening the last couple of years and updates to all these plans is we're aligning all of the plans, so all of the plans are saying the same thing as far as preparedness and mitigation. So it is a very significant undertaking, and it's important for when we're applying for grants or getting designation on a fire risk list that we have these plans in place. So that is very important. Also, I mean, as those who have gone through the evacuation drill or have had it in their community, they know that it is a huge event. It takes a ton of staff power from all agencies to do these, and so, you know, obviously they can't do them everywhere. But something I went to last year out at Auburn Lake Trails was they did one of their fire safe council meetings, they did what happens when the fire comes. And so they kind of just ran through how the evacuations work and how operations and response works and all of that. And it was really, really informative. Huge turnout, really informative, and that might be an idea for if you can't have. But then, of course, I also want to be mindful because our office is in the same position. We're asked to go to every meeting, which is great, and we love that. But if you are able to combine your fire safe councils and have you know, one meeting for multiple fire safe councils, that's very helpful for all of the agencies that are asked to come.
Yeah.
Mark. You want a mic, Mark?
If I'm saying
Oh, David.
for Ray, am I sign up or whatever the latest name is?
Yes, so if you're signed up for Code Red, which is our previous system, we carry that list over to the new one. But if you are concerned you're not signed up, you can always reach out to our office. We can look it up in our database and just confirm that you're in that system. It's a lot of contacts right now. I think it's up to like 180,000. That there's some duplicates in there too, because we did upload previous lists and stuff in there. But it's a lot of people are in there. But if you're concerned, give us a call and we can look into the status of that.
Janine.
Hi. So
I have the app on my phone, it's Smart 911, something like that. What is, okay, so all these things are being renamed and so now this is starting to get confusing for me.
Hey, no
Maybe
problem.
not anybody else in the room.
Yep, I understand the confusion. It is kind of confusing because the way this went about is, California, purchased, rate for all the counties in the county. So we're allowed to use that for free, through the state. So that's really nice because that saves us a lot more money. They were able to invest in other programs like perimetermap.com. But it is confusing though, because it is the state program and they were kicking off their new 911 system that kind of was a failure. They scrapped that program. But this was a way they were gonna update their 911 program to have people's information in case there's an emergency at your home. So the Smart 911 info feeds into dispatch centers that they can access information to if you're having just a daily emergency, they would have your contact information. So they try to do it more of like a twofer to get more information, but have people sign up for emergency services. But most people are concerned about being signed up for emergency services. So it is kind of confusing because of that, because it's a bigger database that feeds into that. But it is all under the Rave system.
Okay, so I just got a notice saying, is your information up to date?
Yep, and that's gonna be for the dispatch side of it, because for a dispatch center, they need to have updated information for that to make sure that it's still accurate. For us, we want the information to be who you are, your address, your phone numbers. So if there's an emergency in the area, we get geofence it and send that information to you. So that update that you're out of compliance, that's more for the 911 side of it, not the emergency alert side. You're still good for emergency alert stuff.
Okay.
But yes, it is very confusing. I'm aware of that. That's because, it's the state.
Two things, our fire safe council tried to do a simulation of evacuation on a board game, and I have notes, and I would like to be the contact person, if you'd like to contact me, you can share an outline how to produce a board game. I've written board games and things when I was a teacher, so something like that. Second of all, people like the new evacuation designations like Georgetown, Garden, as opposed to weird numbers like Y11-3C. So that was well done. People are really liking that and getting used to the idea of evacuation areas. So I just want to give you that feedback. Thank you.
Another goal too, we want to be more personable and also people know your zones. If you have a number like 86429, I don't know what that is, but I do know where Georgetown is, or Platform is, and Springs is. So that was our thank you.
Les?
Yes.
Oh, and then stand behind you.
Stand.
Two things to remember. During the fair, when we were pushing out the new emergency books, it's page 6 and 8 for Rave and Perimeter, not that they're memorized at this point in time, but nobody had them, everyone we talked to, nobody had those on their phones. So as fire safe councils, we're doing all this full reduction and everything, but most important too, we need to make sure that we get our community out safely. The other thing to remember is when we're talking to our community is whoever has a phone within that house needs to have and be signed up also. So in case the phones aren't all together at one time, everyone gets that alert system. So that was my infomercial.
And I'll just inform too, the information for sign up there is in the full fire safety council books. Is there on page 7. Yeah, it's right there.
Start with 6.
Stan, did you have a question?
No, I was.
Oh.
Selling the new book.
Yeah, we're being banned. And I'll just say there probably was some confusion this last week too, so I can probably address that issue with the alert and warning that came out for the fire the previous year. Did anyone in this room get that alert?
No.
Yeah, so it was a fire from the previous year that went out. It was an accident by Amber County. The way they sent that out, we have access to that way too. It's called an IPOS. And IPOS is more of the federal government system for alerting. They use it for hurricanes and tornadoes and stuff like that. For fires, it gets kind of complicated because it's hard to geofence, which is isolated to your specific area. The way that system works, it goes to the tower, and everyone in view of that tower will get that alert. So for our county, we usually don't send those, just because if you send out to the entire county and counties around us, it makes evacuations very confusing and it can clog roads unnecessarily. So we kind of rely on our list system and people signing up to send out those alerts. There is sometimes we do send iPods out. That'd be if we have a situation where people aren't gonna be in that system. If it's a big tourist, like 4th of July, or some people in the area that aren't from the area, we could send out from that system too. We'd like to rely on our internal system because it's more accurate. Yes.
So, we got recently up in Ukiah, they had an earthquake. That came through my phone. Did everybody else get that? So is that all the stuff connected?
Yeah, so that's the FEMA alerting system for that. Like I said, it works for great big disasters where they don't care about being specific, like earthquakes, hurricanes, tornadoes. When it comes to fires, we like to be a little more specific, especially when we're doing evacuations. We don't want to clog up our roads. Kind of like LA, they rely on the iPod system too, it causes a lot of confusion for evacuations. So we like to rely on the list that we have for our county and the people that live here, because it's less complicated.
Or you say that Amador County uses that how possible, but fires?
Pretty much everyone can. So that's why that system went everywhere, because it went out to people that aren't in a specific list. It just went out to everybody in range of the town. That's why it worked that way.
But they pushed it out.
Yes, they did on their side. And they sent a correction out for, sorry, we did that. But you know, it's technology. Sometimes there's silly stuff. It's kind of the same system you remember years ago where Hawaii had a nuclear bomb attack. It's the same system. So that person wrote out a trainee, but actually published it instead of needing training mode. So it is technology. We have to work with those technology stuff. Hopefully, knock on wood, we don't do something like that, but technology. Any other questions?
Aren't you glad you came today, Scott?
No, I'm only glad to. These are all nice questions. Any questions behind me? We're all good? Okay. Thank you.
A terrific department in our county. We love you guys. I do want to, we have a number of folks online. I do want to remind you all that they can ask questions, right? So.
Yep, I'm doing my best.
Before you go on, if people are interested in putting on their own exercises, many years ago, I wrote a manual and video on how to put on hazardous materials exercises, but it's a manual fairly thin, in the form of an annotated checklist. And I have it scanned. If anyone's interested in, you do tabletop, functional exercises and, you know, all sorts of different ones. So if anyone's interested, I can provide that. Again, it's in the, rather than some more complicated exercise design, things that came out subsequently. This is done as an annotated checklist, and it's fairly easy. So just let me know and I can provide that.
Thank you, Paul. Did I see Chief Hope walk in?
Yes.
Well, come up to the microphone. You know, I told this group that I had this dream with Ken leaving that nobody from fire would show up today.
Well, saw that coming, and in fact, I had our Battalion Chief Brian Cooley. He was scheduled to come today, but it's fire season, so you know where he is. He's in the Matthew Plaza now, strike team. He's covering, but you know, things are starting to kick off, and I think that's really kind of the big message here today. It's like we're starting to get ignitions. You know, the resisting control. We're going into extended attack, so we're going to start seeing some drawdown. Fortunately, locally, we've been pretty lucky. Some front country stuff, but we're catching it, right? In fact, we just kind of wrapped up like for the majority, like our vegetation our prescribed fire for, not going to say for the year, we'll still continue to do it where we can, but as we get into drawdown and our equipment and our personnel get kind of spread out throughout the state, it's a little bit more difficult to coordinate those things. So fortunately, we were able to get in a couple hundred acres this year, so I was really happy with the crews for getting together, getting that organized. Great team working on that, especially like across different agencies too. So like Sac Metro and El Dorado County Fire, like they're all involved in all these prescribed fires. So good training there, as well as like the fuel reduction piece of it. So we're in this transition mode. It's going to start to get a little bit sporty here. Hopefully not too sporty, but over the next couple of months, you know, we're going to obviously see what we see in a traditional fire season in the unit and honestly statewide. But I had a couple of things I wanted to bring to the group. So I don't know where I am in the queue here, but if Tanya's had a chance to talk or not. Big news from the CAL FIRE and El Dorado County Fire, or El Dorado County, is we had a contract for a Schedule A agreement to add additional defensible space inspectors within El Dorado County. So we're going to have a total of 8 defensible space inspectors that we're in the process of hiring right now. They'll be solely in El Dorado County, and their job is to, you know, enforce the ordinance. So it was a contract. Tanya might give some more details on that, but it's basically a grant, came as a contract, and we have the facilities and capacity to do that. So we now have some inspectors year round doing those inspections, really needed it. In fact, our state defensible space inspection program right now, we are at a deficiency. We've had some promotions, had people move on. Right now, I actually have one person in the shop. But again, we're working on getting that turned around here. State being what it is, hiring process take a little bit longer. But it's good news though. When we're all said and done, we'll have 13 inspectors available within the unit, which is kind of more than we've ever had before. So that's really good stuff. And that's awesome agreement that we got together with the county on that. On hiring, let's see here. We hired 4 new battalion chiefs in the unit. We were finally able, we've been deficient on those folks for about 6 months. And those were those key positions. Those are field battalions. So we actually just put them in place this last week. They're going to go through a little bit of training process here, and then we're going to get them into the field. So that'll actually help us out with a little bit of capacity. But it's really good to see that key position being filled. And you know, the group that's coming up this year in that position, they're fantastic. They're excellent firemen. They're going to be great field battalions. We're really looking forward to having them there. Let's see here. The fire plan. So we submitted our unit fire plan to the Sacramento, and that eventually gets published here, probably the next week or so, on the CAL FIRE website. In the unit, we do an enhancement to that. It's our story map. It's a story map of the fire plan. It just makes it a little bit more accessible for us to use, you know, for that to read that 120-page document. It's interactive. You can zoom in on maps. You get kind of a good idea what the strategy is for the unit there. So as soon as we get that up and published, it's got to go through some approvals. We'll get that up and published. We can share that with the group, and then you guys can get a better idea of like what's in the CAL FIRE unit fire plan. Let's see what else. Oh, here's a cool piece. Is about a month and a half ago, CAL FIRE inked a agreement with BurnBot. They're a kind of a technology company, but they also have a school machine that will like burn the grass, which is cool, but it doesn't do a lot. The other thing they do have is a massification package. So we inked a contract with them for region wide to do massification projects on shovel-ready areas that we have in the unit. So I have my team off working on trying to identify some areas to get some of that, it's not free, but some of that strategic work done in the unit. And that's actually kind of an exciting component there, because this is like a new way of doing contracts. We've had difficulty getting this kind of scale done in the past under Chief Morris's leadership. He was able to get that in place. So we're actually really excited to start working on some projects, the massification projects in the unit, and obviously it'll hopefully go region wide, but I'm a little selfish. We said, hey, let's see if we can get it all in the unit. So that's really all I have. I'm coming off vacation, so I'm not totally up to speed with what we keep going on. But that's really like where we're at, pushing in fire season, got a couple of months of this. And then if anybody has any questions. Yeah.
Is there a way we can get on the radar for that mastication, like individual fire safe councils that might have shovel-ready projects?
Yeah, so it's going to be mostly on like CAL FIRE BMPs. We can use it if it has CEQA, but you know, the prescription and all that stuff that goes behind it. Right now, the goal is to get it done quickly on our already CEQA approved within the unit. But we talk all the time, Tamara, and we talk with the project coordination group. And so that's just kind of another component, another tool in the toolbox for us to use. So I'm going to say yes. But we got to work on it, right?
Remember, it's this meeting's being recorded. I knew Tamara would ask that question.
Everything I say, you can get on public record.
How long or where would I find what the cause of a fire is? How long does it take for that to come out publicly?
It really depends. Some like bigger events, there's a little bit more involved investigation that happens. You know, obviously there's if people are going to be held accountable, we want to make sure that that investigation is correct. Some of the smaller fires that are very obvious, we're able to actually release the cause fairly quickly. We'll even do it the same day if it's like first strike or whatever it may be. Like we can release it the same day. So it just depends. I know that's not a great answer.
No, that's fine, but it's on the website then where all of your fires are?
Yeah, we do have within the CAL FIRE website. I have to work around and find that type of stuff.
Okay.
And how quickly it gets published there, I don't know that off the top of my head, but it does ultimately all get published. It's public domain.
Thank you.
Any other questions?
Good stuff. Thank you, chief.
Yeah, and report, thanks.
Okay. Okay, Bureau of Reclamation, do we have anybody here? Not today. Then I'm gonna turn it over to Tamara. Grants and Funding Committee.
Okay, so, good morning, everybody. Big news is that we've submitted a boatload of grant applications in the last couple weeks. So I'll just go through what we submitted, so everybody knows about that. The first one was we submitted a CAL FIRE Forest Health Grant application for $8 million. That was submitted on June 27th. For forest health work in the Garden Valley area. So it was for 2,300 acres of initial treatment, about 500 acres of maintenance work, also money supporting the Prescribed Burn Association so that they can work with landowners after the fact to help them do burning on their property for long-term maintenance. And then some community planning, kind of trying to get the Georgetown area more some shovel-ready projects for that. So that was $8 million. And then for the CAL FIRE wildfire prevention grants, we submitted a total, on behalf of the Fire Safe Council, we submitted a total of 6 grant applications. 3 were for our Defensible Space Assistance Program. So the maximum grant we could apply for was $950,000. So we submitted one $950 for the Defensible Space Program, one for the Chipping Program, one for the Hazardous Tree Program. And then we also submitted one, as we've talked about, one application in each of the CWPP planning areas. So in the East planning area, we submitted an application to do initial treatment on 234 acres along Highway 50 between Camino and Pollock Pines, kind of focusing on improving the evacuation, that critical evacuation area. And then 60 acres of maintenance in the Fresh Pond area, and then planning process in the Fort Jim area. And just to remind everybody, the strategy for each of these in the planning areas is to apply for treatment, initial treatment, maintenance, and planning, those 3 areas. So in the West, we applied for a project in the Lake Hills area. So initial treatment of 50 acres, maintenance of 25 acres, and then planning in the kind of outside of Cameron Park area. South County, and I just want to give credit, Lester pretty much did this grant proposal, thank goodness, because it would have been a lot for me to finish everything. So thank you, Lester. South County, we applied for 103 acres of initial treatment in the Oak Hill, Outingdale, and Omo Ranch areas, and those are that's kind of a continuation of the previous CAL FIRE grant. We had ROEs for all of these parcels that we didn't have enough money in the last grant to finish. So it's kind of finishing up that project. 138 acres of maintenance in both Logtown and Sandridge, and then a planning process in the Somerset Four Corners area. And then in the north planning area, rather than the Fire Safe Council being the applicant was actually the Garden Valley Fire Protection District. And the purpose of that, so Garden Valley Fire has a fuels team they've been developing with a lot of support from PG&E actually to do fuels work along power lines and critical infrastructure, and also to start doing maintenance. And they've with support from PG&E, they were able to purchase a a track loader, and they wanted to get a masticator head for the track loader so that they could continue to do maintenance on all of the other projects that we're doing. So that's why they're the applicant rather than the Fire Safe Council, so they could apply for this masticator head. And then they also applied for to do 365 acres of maintenance in the Mosquito Swansboro area and planning in the Coloma Lotus and Cool Pilot Hill areas. So we can start getting some shovel-ready projects in those areas. And so the goal of that was really to focus on building Garden Valley Fire's long-term, ability to do kind of long-term maintenance on all these projects. So those are the ones that we applied for. And then just so you guys know, others that I know about, like other entities that applied for these rounds, El Dorado Irrigation District applied for equipment to do work along their water conveyance lines. I don't know what those are called, flumes or something. I think their focus for this grant was going to do work along in the Chili Bar area. They have some water conveyance, I think, between the river and Placerville. And the Wild Turkey Federation applied for a wildfire prevention grant in collaboration with the Forest Service to do 300 acres outside of the mosquito fire footprint in the Georgetown Ranger District, so on Forest Service land. The American River Conservancy applied for a forest health grant, 2,600 acres in the Casumas River watershed, which, I mean, any of these projects, if any of them get, any of them would be great for us, for all of us. And then the El Dorado Water Agency applied for, they submitted a concept paper for the CAL FIRE Regional Wildfire and Landscape Resilience Grant. They applied for $5 million to do 1,500 acres in North Placerville. That was acres that were identified as part of the Placerville Resilience Strategy, and then 200 acres of maintenance. So lots of, and there's probably other applications out there that I don't know about, but these are the ones that I know went into the CAL FIRE grants. And then the only other thing I have of note is I've mentioned a few times I'm working on getting this training from an organization in Colorado called Coalitions and Collaboratives to do a training on best practices for community outreach. And so still working on the details, but the date has been confirmed for November 9th and 10th, and it'll be here. And I'll send out more information as soon as I get all the details confirmed, but if you want to mark your calendars, I think that's going to be a really great training for all of us involved in community outreach and education, just to kind of learn about what other places are doing and what research is showing our best practices. And I know, Lester, you've attended that training, right? And Alice both said it's really good. So I'm excited to bring that training here. So any questions? Wow, okay, thanks.
Thank you, Tamara. A well-deserved applause, by the way. Yeah, Tamara is another reason why I went ahead and took this position. Okay, assistance programs. Jessica is on a well-deserved vacation, so the information is in your board packet. Training committee, Elizabeth, I saw you back there. She is.
No, I got here a little bit late today, but didn't want to miss all the fun. I'm so happy to see so many people here. I was afraid July, everybody'd be on vacation. I'd be here with Bob, it'd be whole hands together. No. Great. I actually pulled together some data. I got a little jealous of all of Jessica's data that she presents at every meeting. So I thought I would pull together some data to give the group a better sense of how much work our all volunteer assessment program is actually doing out there. So we just finished up the Q2 reporting, thanks to Carrie and all of her hard work pulling all this together. So of the assessments that were reported to the main office, and I know there are more going on out there, But of the ones reported, we did 69 assessments in Q2. That compares to 38 that we did in Q1, so that was a big increase. And they're going on throughout our area. We've got 17 different associate councils reported assessments. We have about 38 or 39 assessors out there doing them that I saw from the Q2 reports. So we have a lot of assessors out there working. And I just wanted to say there's just a huge amount of work, and I do review, and I also wanted to thank all the assessors. So as we go through the review for the assessments at the end of the quarter before we do the payouts for the stipends, I'm going through and doing a quick check just to make sure the paperwork's there. Carrie just kind of uploads it into the system and counts them, and I'm kind of doing a little QC to make sure the paperwork's there. You've checked all the boxes so that we have the data that we can send to CAL FIRE, that the data is correct and that they make sense. And by and large, that's great. And for the few questions I had, I just wanted to thank everybody for getting back to us really quickly with corrections or updates or clarifications, whatever we needed. So I also wanted to commend everybody that took the field maps training. So this was the training that allows you to enter that data directly into the CAL FIRE system. A lot of it could be a little clunky and complicated the first time you do it, but we had so many people that dove right in. I see the data going in the system. That's looking good. There have been a few questions that have come up. If you have questions, if it's glitching or not letting you do what I think it should do, or you can't find where to put the data, please reach out. I can try to help. It does look a little different on the different devices, so hopefully we can work through it and guide you where to get that data up there. And that is really helping us because I'm still chugging through trying to manually put the data from Q2. I got a lot of them done over my vacation because I had fewer distractions, but I got a little more to do. So the more that the individual assessors can put in the system, the better off we'll be. The CAL FIRE will have the data in a more timely manner and it'll actually be useful. So thank you. But I also mainly just wanted to read off the list of assessors that are out there in the field doing the good work in their communities. Because again, this is volunteer, they're spending a lot of time, and it's this one-on-one connection that I really feel like is the heart and soul of this program. That you're talking with your neighbors, spending time answering their questions, not using the jargon that we tend to hear a lot, and they really start understanding what they need to do to protect themselves and their homes and their families. So in no particular order, just because I scribbled all over the place, but people that I see out there on a regular basis doing assessments: Bill Osgood, Cheryl Shields, Ken Hansen, Diane Ross, Frank Ober. I wanted to call out Frank. He is the sole person in Cameron Park. He's busting his butt. He's all over the place. He'll travel to get other assessments done. Tom Turner. He's at an Auckland Fairplay. He's been doing tons of good work out there too. Michael Davidson, Steve Allen in Placerville. Those of us that do assessments, when we heard Steve Allen's process, we all about fell out of our chairs. He can spend up to 4 hours doing an assessment. He is like the gold standard of assessments. He will go through a booklet with folks. He will spend as much time as they need to get them up to speed on everything. So he's amazing. Karen Pullen, Janine Stiles, Mark Spellman, Greg Cox, Fred Kent, Annette Gross, Kathy Soda, David Turoff, and Paloma Lotus. They are a dynamic duo. They are out there all the time getting stuff done. Bob has even gone out and done some assessments, I see. So good. And he was just recently trained. So very good. Thanks for getting out there and brushing up on your skills.
Tanya shamed me into it.
Okay. Stan Hill, Lester Levetkin, Alice Canelo, Len Petrie, Peggy Smith, Angela Bernuti, Mark Shumway, Melissa Gates, Christine Williams, Mike Mendez. I want to call it Mike. He was recently trained this spring, and he also just dove right in and has been traveling slightly outside his fire safe council to get stuff done. Hugh Council, Denise Romanek, Sharon Beck, and Gary Bolt. And I know there's more of you out there doing it. These are names that I pulled out of the Q2 report. So thank you, all of you for getting out there and getting this work done. Any questions?
Well, how about a big applause for our assessors? You didn't give your name though, Elizabeth.
Huh?
You didn't give your name.
I actually didn't do anything in Q2. I
Oh.
was training everybody out.
That's no excuse.
No.
Thank you, Elizabeth. And thank you, Carrie.
Oh, sure, yeah, I know.
Okay, what's next? That's you, Dorothy.
That is
Outreach and
it's
education.
Outreach and education. Well, the big thank you I have to say is thank you for all the volunteers that helped with the fair. It's 4 days and I know agencies said, we're in the fire safety lane and our booth, we had 39 volunteers. And I know there were some glitches getting some people in, some people were able to come right in and do the volunteering. It depended on who was at the gate over there. So we will be working in the future over with the fair to make sure that we even have a smoother transition for what's going on. And the information, just to let you know, with our fair is the public, the Outreach and Education Working Group, we debrief what went on at the fair, what worked, what didn't work, so we're in a continuous improvement model situation going on with that. So if you have any input that you would like, please just email the vice chair and I'd be glad to be able to share that with the group so we just continue to get our booth to be even better. Our next big event then will be, which is a countywide event, is the Props, Cops and Rodders, which is going to be in September 26th. And it's a one-day event. It's down in Cameron Park. I haven't been there personally, but I heard it was a wonderful event. So we will be needing some more volunteers for that to help out at our booth. Obviously, there's going to be coming for those certain fire safe councils. We'll be attending with the National Night Out. Remember, if you're going to have one, send whether you're going to participate to Carrie, so you can get that in on our website calendar. And make sure that you sign up ahead of time for our materials. Also, just to let you know, the Fire Safe Council, the Outreach and Education Working Group is looking at the materials that we have in there. We're realizing that as we've now have 31 fire safe councils, and some of the events are happening at the same day, we're trying to make duplicate availability of materials, say home hardening. So we've got, say, 2 boxes of home hardening. So we're not, we're able to share the wealth with the materials that we have. So that's in process. And I see that Chyla's here and she's one of the people on our working group, and that's really helpful. And so is Mark, he's part of the working group. And so all the efforts, and Mark right now then will also be looking at getting a survey, an informational survey out. Because again, we just want to continue, how do we reach the people out in the community and how do we do the best educational possible outreach we can do? So that's what we look at. And on that note, in the back table, now that we have Elizabeth and Mike back there as Elizabeth and Vanna, we'll try, when we get freebies, we'll put them back there. So always as you come in and do the sign in, typically, then go over and check out what's over at the table. What's over there, first come, first serve, take it and push out that information. And then if we see that we need to get more of something, just let us know and we'd be happy to do that. Any questions regarding, good, Ernie?
Quick question.
Yes.
Was it a year or 2 ago, they were talking about building a trailer, showing all the different aspects of home hardening? What is the status of that, or is that a dead subject?
That was an excellent question. 2 years ago, we put in for the California Fire Safe Council grant. And in that grant, there was X budgeted for that. We just got the monies and everything needed to be spent by the end of November. So time frame and people working on that. So that's been put on hold right now. We have no finances for that, or people willing to be able to get it in and done in time for us to get reimbursement for that. But that doesn't mean that the plans, I know Lester and Alice had the plans to it. Jason was part of willing to do the So next round of monies, as we look in grants, if it comes back up, we'll relook at that because the concept is great. But the practicality of getting it up, ready, done, and budgeted, spent, just didn't happen this time, which was sad. What we did get was 4 new mics, now maxed out here for our fire safe council meeting, so some of the money was being able to help on that. Are there any other questions regarding, so if there's other ideas or so, please reach out, send it to us. We want to hear what also is working for you. If there is a glitch and need some help, that's what the public outreach and education group is for. And again, I think we're still underutilizing our website. And so if you have an event, something going on, please send it to Carrie and we'll get it out on our website. Okay.
Any more committee? Okay.
Not here in the group. Anybody else on the outreach and education? Oh, right now we've got a good group going on, but we will always take volunteers coming into the public outreach and education group. We meet the 3rd Wednesday. No, we don't. We meet the 4th Wednesday. This is the 3rd Wednesday. Thank you for listening. The 4th Wednesday, main office, at 12 o'clock, 12 to 1:30. Okay.
And when we move, we'll have more room for board volunteers.
And I'm glad we're moving because thank you for schlepping that equipment up and down those concrete stairs. We're lucky nobody's biffed it. Knock on wood, nobody biffed it until we move. And then we're gonna do a straight run. That was my big thing, making sure that the equipment can get in and out. And we have purchased a hand cart and a wagon that will be able to be used for equipment because the old days of muscling everything back and forth those days are done, Bob. Yes, oh, yes, please.
Where,
Jenny.
I'm looking at the El Dorado County Fire Safe Council, where are the events? I mean, I
calendars.
Under calendar.
Okay. Now, I must not be able to see that, sorry.
No, that's a good question though.
Okay.
And then if you find
It might say events too.
yeah. But it's
Carrie
on the
just-
calendar. Yes, Shiloh.
So, during this meeting, I heard 2 different things that, shine outreach and education. I don't wanna put anyone on the spot, but when I hear someone announce that they're a teacher that does board games, I think outreach and education. When I hear someone say they have an annotative checklist and they're happy to share it, I think outreach and education. One of the things about the website that you're talking about is how do we put the resources on so that the 30+ fire safe councils that we have here can readily access that information. That's one of the reasons that I joined the outreach and education at the county level, just to be able to gather as many resources as possible. So when I hear Bob has done filming it, and I'm seeing just diamonds all over the place, and if we would just, if you have ideas like that, you don't have to marry that program, but you being able to offer that resource. And then if you have the organizational skills to help us put it in the outreach and education resource library, please consider helping with that. That's it.
No, Shiloh, thank you very much for that, because the other thing, we are underutilizing just because of the amount of volunteer people time that we have, it's underutilized. So we know that Kelowna Lotus has some wonderful videos. It would be great that we can get to share and get them in. We still need to go through the videos that are on there. When we even started to inventory the equipment that we had, sorry, I had to laugh at this one. We had a lot of CDs probably from 1908 that were in there. Those are gone now. So we're trying to clean house, especially in the fact that we're moving. We're trying to improve the amount of the equipment that we have. We're buying 2 new pop-ups. ones already come in that we used at the fair. So we're trying to just continue to improve what's going on. But as ideas or things that come up, we do need to share. And the annotated log will figure out, if it's sent to us, we'll figure out where to put it and get it onto the website, because all 31 fire safe councils, we should be using that. And the public, there's a public part too. So either send it to me or send it to Carrie. Okay, and Janine first and then Melissa. Oh, then got it. Oh, Melissa.
I really liked the little golf tees that you had at the booth. And I think if I actually stuck mine in my defensible space accessory badge, so it would be handy. I think that would be great for all the DSAs to have, to carry with them when they do an assessment.
Thank you very much, because what I was thinking to do, since I have the box of teas myself, because we have an upcoming event, and thank you, Hugh, did he make the coolest vent box ever? 1/4 inch, 1/8 inch, 16th inch. How about if we bring in baggies some, and have back there a set of golf tees that you guys can put in your assessment bags? We want to push those out, because what we found at the fair was it took a little bit more time than those people that attended the fair wanted to really listen to. But at our events and things like that, I think we will have better airtime. The home assessments, that's the perfect place to pass those out. So it was a great idea. Thank you. Rose.
Hi there. To echo on your comment about standardization and continuity and all that sort of stuff. So we have this wonderful booklet. Tanya, has it been digitized?
Yes.
Wonderful. Can we put it on the website?
I have that for Carrie. It's so large. I have it on a zip drive.
So it's going on our website. It's already on OWOFers that you can go right there to see. And so we'll get it on ours. So it's available to digitize and download for your own personal viewing.
Yeah, because, you know, the kids in this world, they want it all digital. It's good. Thanks. That it?
And a report.
Thank you, Dorothy. Dorothy's got, like Angel, he's got so much energy. I have been sort of part of the outreach committee, great group. Mark back there, Shyla. Mark's the guy with corporate haircut now.
Yeah. The new Mark.
And I just sent the excise guide to Dorothy.
Oh, perfect.
Okay, so next, my favorite part of this, community council, community council reports, go ahead, Grizzly Flats.
Yes, Mark. Mark Ulmer, Grizzly Flats. I have 3 things. I'll try and keep it brief. First of all, Bob, you are more than welcome to attend our meetings. They're sometimes in person, sometimes Zoom, but our next one is Saturday, August 1st at Leone Meadows, 9:30 a.m. Next up, Firewise Day. My final reminder, it's coming up this Saturday. We're in crunch time now, Saturday the 18th from 3 to 7 p.m. 7802 Hermosa Vista in Somerset. At 5:30, the Burger Night Group is going to be serving ribs and brisket, a complete meal for only $14. Free snacks, sodas, waters, and dessert are being paid for by the council. And we're also going to have a silent auction as part of our annual fundraiser. It is our one and only annual fundraiser. Next up, this was not necessarily a fun one. As mentioned, sometimes we do Zoom, sometimes we do in-person meetings. Our last meeting on Saturday, about mid-meeting, we had 4 unknown people, I assume from the community, suddenly pop into the meeting, which was great because we don't get a whole lot of people from the community showing up. So I opted to ask them to introduce themselves as part of the meeting. And Dorothy's already laughing here. So as soon as I asked the first person to introduce themselves, suddenly there was pornography all over the screen. So we were, apparently it's called Zoom bombing. Because we encourage the community members to attend, we put our Zoom link out there for anybody that wants to attend. So as soon as I could remove somebody from the meeting, more was popping up. I apologize profusely to our guests and members. Poor Shyla and Pat witnessed this whole thing. I'm sorry. Yes, yeah, and fortunately, none of the senior Fire Safe Council members in attendance had any coronary events during this. Just for all of you who do have Zoom or hybrid meetings, just a word of caution, we're gonna be talking about it at our executive board level this afternoon. But the only way that we could figure it out with the Zoom Pro plan, security wise, is to have a waiting room and let people in individually. However, that kind of discourages and precludes people from the community to get in unless we ask them questions as to, key questions like what street do you live on in Grizzly Flats or within our sphere of recognition, etc. So that's my end of report. And Mr. Webb, if you ever do this again, we will never let you into a meeting. Just kidding.
Thank you, Mark. I've been watching our meeting here on Zoom today, so we're cool.
So far.
We got Sherry Hawk. Sherry?
I'm ready. Hi, everyone. Goldridge Forest Fire Safe Council. We are just hoping to complete a project this month or early August on some of our Goldridge Trail roadside that the county didn't get to. I cringe every time I drive by, just praying nobody throws out a cigarette. So we're hoping to get that done through the Title III. Tamara, I am sending you an email about that. The POA looks like they might match us money as well, so we can get a larger portion of that done. Of course, I'm waiting to hear from DOT to see if they authorize us doing that work, since it is on their right of way. Other thing is we will be doing National Night Out at the Community Center in Pollock Pines, the Pollock Pines Camino Community Center. Would love to be able to pick up some booklets if somebody could text me or chat me the address of where I can get those. And Dorothy, I will communicate with you to get some items for our booth. I don't know if you plan on attending that same one or not. Also wanted to mention that I've been talking to a couple of people that are off of Ice House Road, actually on White Meadows Road. It's a community of only about 20 residences, but they are looking to get involved. They had a big scare during the Caldor fire, and they would like to reached out to me and wanted to know what they could do to be involved. And I didn't know if 20 residences was enough to have their own fire safe council.
What happened?
That is something. Hello?
You're
I
here.
thought it
You dropped out for a minute.
Oh, no.
She asked a question.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah, the question was, is a residence of 20 enough to start a fire safe council? And I'm gonna defer to Angel.
Sherry, I'm happy to speak with them about what their desires are and give them some options, so you can direct them to me.
Okay. I was just gonna have them come to the next meeting. One of the gentlemen were willing to, if that would be better.
Absolutely. Yeah,
Okay.
no, that honestly, when somebody's interested in becoming a fire safe council or a Firewise community, I ask them to come to our meetings and see if it's a good fit for them. Because I don't want to start a fire safe council and have it not flourish. So that's one of the steps. So that's perfect too.
Awesome, awesome. All right, well, thank you very much and appreciate what everybody's doing out there. Have a great day.
Thank you, Sherry, and Sherry's Fire Safe Council certainly flourishes. Any other, oh, Jason? I know what you're gonna talk about.
Jason from Fort Jim Fire Safe Council, representing our collaborative of Camino and Rancho del Sol. We do have this Sunday, July 19th, from 1 to 4 p.m. free community barbecue. And we invite everybody to come. We do have some security to watch for David if he shows up to spy on us. There are flyers on the back. These are actually mailers we sent out to the entire area of our 3 fire safe councils so that we try to get as many people there as possible. If you're not in the area, you're more than welcome to come. The more the merrier. Please come on out and visit.
Thank you, and I'll be there, and I'd love to see the 3 fire safe councils doing that. You want this?
No.
Okay. David.
I'm gonna be there. Also, Steve, correct me if I get it wrong, Possible Fire Safe Council is gonna be a national night out in Placerville. I think that's in the Hangtown Village Square. And I think officially starts at 6, but we'll be setting up by 5:30. Also because I got some frightened from what I heard from Grizzly Flats, that instead of our usual Zoom meeting, we're gonna be live at the the Forest Service off of Brew Road. They call it 40, but they're wrong. And we'll be downstairs, so I'm bringing pizzas. So if any of you showing up, tell me so I can have enough pizzas. I think that's it. Steve, should I say anything else for I got good. Thank you.
Thank you, David.
Melissa.
Melissa Gates with Royal Equestrian Estates Fire Safe Council. We had a Green Waste Day, Dumpster Day, was very well attended, lots of garbage got dumped away. And we also had an ice cream social. We donated all the ice cream, we put out ads, we put out signs, we did all kind of good stuff. And it was very poorly attended, sad to say. We only had 5 representatives from our outside of our Fire Safe Council attend. And so the ice cream was good, but we'd like to get more information about how to get more attendance because it certainly was well advertised. And also a shout out to Steve. I had ordered a sign, one of the CAL FIRE approved reflective signs, and he got it to me in nothing flat. And then I did a defensible space assessment a week or so later and showed them the sign, and I don't think the ink was dry on the application that they sent to him to have one done, but he showed up and actually even installed the sign. So that was very nice, and they were very appreciative. So thank you to Steve.
Thank you, Melissa. Anybody else? Ken.
Ken McKenzie.
Yep, and then what?
Gallagher Road. Pardon?
No, go ahead.
Okay. That's where my work. We did a PG&E project. Fire reduction along the PG&E lines. Many thanks for the funding and all the support. Your crew is great. We also worked with Twin Creeks, Lori James. It's a big part of our effort and all the things from selecting contractors to overseeing work. We got about 6 miles of road taken care of, reducing the fuels underneath the power lines and along the road. We had great results there, and I think Lori's had some very positive results in her area. We also used the Title III funds and did another part with the cleanup in our community there. So we had a very productive effort. Many thanks to PG&E and the Title III tomorrow. I believe us to help them there. Thank you.
Thank you, Ken. Gallagher Road, always engaged. Auburn Lake Trails.
Hi, I'm Mike Connolly from Auburn Lake Trails. We're gonna have a presentation tomorrow night on fire insurance in California. We're gonna have Duraya Syed from the Insurance Commissioner's Office and a local insurance broker or a mullet talk to us about the changing climate for fire insurance in California. We also are gonna have a Greenway Dumpster Day on Saturday. This will be our second one of the year. We have one early and another one following the inspections because some people end up having to do additional work after their inspections. On the inspections, we just finished the first round of inspections on 1,104 properties in Auburn Lake Trails, and we had 95% compliance. So we have about 50 that aren't compliant yet, and we're working with those owners to get their properties in compliance with the 4291 requirements. We also have 4 active grants, 2 PG&E grants and 2 CAL FIRE grants. And since May, we've done about $600,000 worth of fuel reduction work on property within Auburn Lake Trails. Thank you.
Good job, Mike. Thanks. Keep them up, Ken. You had your chance.
I'm sorry. I forgot an important thing, going forward. We have a major drive to inform the community and make sure everybody knows about evacuation and some of the major data related to the fire efforts. And the booklet that Tanya's group put together is fantastic. We're planning to take copies of it and get the red go bags and make sure every house in our community, and I think Twin Creeks as well, is in this effort. And make sure everybody has the booklet. And like I say, evacuation is a major one this year that we're pushing. That's it.
Thanks, Ken. Ken Rogers.
Ken Rogers, Logtown Fire Safe Council. I want to talk about the CWPP process. It's the second time we work together collaboratively in the South, and it's just wonderful. All the different fire safe councils, what's going on, you get to learn about people and their issues. It's really was a great thing. Again, I want to thank Lester because he was the catalyst for pulling this all together and making this happen. And unfortunately, I was out of town, and I think there were some other people out of town during the time, and he really put it on his shoulders and ran it across the finish line. So Lester, thank you again. I mean, really, it wouldn't have happened without you. So hopefully our proposal it will go, but we'll see. And then last Saturday we had Bob Hess and Gary Bull come to our Fire Safe Council representing CIRA and talk about the Neighborhood Radio Watch. We had 5 new members join the net. If you haven't had an opportunity to have Bob or listen to Bob's presentation on CIRA and what it's all about, it needs to happen because it's a very, very good presentation that Bob does. And then Gary supports with selling radios at a nominal price. So very, very good. Thank you. And back to you.
I'm wearing my Fire Safe Council hat today, Ken. Thank you.
Sarah's always in your back pocket though.
Anybody else? Elizabeth, Sand Ridge.
Yes, hello, putting on my Sand Ridge Fire Safe Council hat. It is the ugly stepchild of my life, but we finally got something done. So for those of you that don't know Sand Ridge, our problem is we have no public spaces in our fire safe council area. It is literally all private property. There's not a school, a church, anything. So we've been meeting at the Pioneer Fire Station, which is outside our area. We have some people come, not nearly as many as I'd hoped. So we've shifted emphasis for now. We've got a over 100-person strong email list that we send out fairly regular emails on, or like newslettery type things on. But we decided to, part of the California Fire Safe Council funds that finally came in a year late. We're doing a big sign at either end of Sand Ridge Road. So on the Bucks Bar end, we were generously donated some space by the Pioneer Fire, has a little depot building there. So we got our sign up there, and we're gonna do kind of what we're considering public safety announcements. So we're borrowing a lot from the Cal Fire great graphics, OWOPR things, and putting together informational signs. So we had a sign up for 4th of July, you know, don't do fireworks, don't start a fire, whatever that was. Right now we have don't drag a chain, and you know, kind of those sorts of informational things that we're trying to get out so that we know people, there's only 2 ways in Sand Ridge Road. So people, anybody that lives there has to drive past these signs every single day. So we're just gonna bombard them with the message, whether they want to know it or not. And hope that that will, because our main goal is for awareness and for people to do what they should be doing to prevent fires, right? If they never make it to a meeting, that's fine by me. I mean, I'd love to see their face, but we have a lot of people out in our area that are working, have kids, contractors that may commute an hour to Sacramento, and I get it. At the end of the day, you don't have time to go sit in another meeting. So I just want them to get the information and to be proactive and do what they need to do. So that's kind of our tact, and great big thank you to the grant money that allowed us to get this signboard made, and we're printing up more informational signs, and hopefully going to work with like Pioneer Fire and other people to, if they have specific messaging they want to get out. So that's our tact and what we're going.
I'd love to see pictures of those signs.
I will try to get them up.
Yeah,
Yes.
great idea.
Too,
Okay.
for the grant.
Thank you, Elizabeth.
Mina?
Oh, yeah, Camino, certainly, yes.
Thank you, yes, and Camino, just as a quick, what we did in Camino, because it's a large area, we do not host a green waste day. Actually, the Camino Community Action Council does, and has been doing for years. So what we did as a fire safe council was we were over where the dumpsters were, which they pay for. But we had last year with the last funds of Title III, you know, when you don't have enough for a full dumpster, we went down to Home Depot and got the brown green waste bags through there, bundles of 5. So when we, community was having their dumpster day, we were passing the brown green waste dumpster bags out. I know it sounds a little weird. We had issues with it too. And during National Night Out, that's what we're also going to be passing out. And we're going to have some at our July 19th passing those out. So, you know, so we are very stingy and did not want to send 1 penny back. So we did our very best to go down to 0. So just as your fire safe councils, it's one idea to think about going to Home Depot and getting the bags. And what's really cool is they're already bundled in bundles of 5, easy to give out. You can take and slip an informational page on the top if you would like regarding your fire safe council. So, end of report.
Elizabeth?
Just a comment, you can also order a big box of 50 from Uline. We did that, those green waste bags.
Which was it? Uline.
It's
Uline.
Uline. They throw out packaging and shipping supplies. We ordered great big boxes.
So a box of 50.
Yeah.
Perfect, thank you.
Shipped right to the house.
I see David.
Don't pretend it's either public comment or give them the order. So help me here, my advertising has been all possible as far as wise. I don't think the city of Placerville itself has had the capacity to become a fire risk reduction community or to make it on the list. We've thought about, am I right? We're not on the list, right? But, and they keep on seeming to be a little bit short-handed, but if there's, any way you can help the city get past that. Thanks, Tony.
I did, yeah, try to get them to do it this time. They don't have the capacity, so we'll try again. But mention it to them because I am available to help them every step.
Thank you.
Any other fire safe councils? Okay, my goal, my personal goal had been to end this by 11:30 today. We're not quite there yet. We're getting close. Public comment? Anybody for public comment? Come on up to the microphone. You have 3 minutes and I have a stopwatch. Oh, Gina.
Hi, everyone. Lot of little odds and ends. First of all, thank you for doing the candidate forum. I'm very pleased to say that I will be on the ballot this November for District 4. But a couple of things out there, talking to a lot of people, and homeowners insurance continues to be just the #1 priority. Some good news that I just wanted to relate. There's a number of companies that are either coming back or expanding their coverage for homeowners insurance that you might be interested in. Liberty Mutual is expanding their coverage. They had previously left California. USSA is also expanding their coverage. And a new company called MS Travers Insurance Group is joining California. And a lot of the other top companies have also agreed that they will be expanding their coverage into fire risk areas. So that's really good news. The other thing I just wanted to mention is some other things that are happening at a more of a umbrella level. I think really good to help our community become more safe from fires. Includes the fact that our county did get a settlement from PG&E for the mosquito fire. And of that settlement, a lot of that money went to OES, and there's still $7.8 million left. And that's going to be focused on the mosquito fire footprint area, including in Volcanoville coming up with a comprehensive plan for evacuation. And so I think that's also very good news. And the county also has agreed to provide $400,000 for a shared services agreement that will look at Garden Valley, Georgetown, and potentially Mosquito. And this is really important because it will offer the ability to be more efficient and be more collaborative. And instead of everyone doing their own training program, you can have one training program for those areas. You can have centralized administration as well. And so that's really a cost saving, so then can translate into having more money for actual firefighters on the street. So I think those are some things that are really positive. And then lastly, I just wanted to mention, ironically, this has been mentioned throughout the meeting today. I was looking at materials. I was up in Mosquito, and Mosquito produced this book.
Oh, yeah.
This is work of art, Emmy nominated. But then I came today and I see that we now have this beautiful book. So it's really hard to say who would win the Emmy. This is good stuff. But it also got me thinking about efficiencies. I am a chair of Firewise communities. I'd like to see more Firewise communities. And if there was a way to take all of this great material and somehow have it available so that when you wanted to produce something, you could personalize it. So is it possible like to get that book, but now offer every fire safe council a page in it that would allow them to put their information, and then they could send that out. And therefore they're not having to recreate separate material. So just the whole concept over literature and education and outreach. I think we're all doing a lot of things, and there's got to be efficiencies there. And I don't want to say know exactly what those should be, but just something that maybe we could think about here as part of this council. Thank you.
Thank you, Gina. We have a gentleman back there. Okay, you're all together. We give you 3 minutes. Okay.
Hi, good morning, everyone. I am Peter, and this is Mr. Aguinaldo from Brazil. He's a agricultural engineer from Brazil. And I'm pretty sure he'll help us forward a lot about fuel reduction.
He's just talking.
Maintenance. But in addition to that, and I hope this is preparing for this board here, we have a very specific solution.
Could you talk a little closer to the mic?
I'm sorry. Okay, sorry about that. So I am Peter, and this gentleman here, Mr. Ronaldo from Brazil, he's a agriculture engineer from Brazil. And I'm sure you all explored, what's called, fuel reduction and cleaning maintenance against the fire. But in addition to that, I believe this also can also be a barrier against the fire. We have a solution through a living, vegetation to reduce and mitigate the risk of fire in California. I don't wanna be too long, but I have to fly with all the information to get to just leave here and, you know, guys can use the word about this. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Put it at the back table over there.
Thank you.
Thank you.
My name's Eileen Parr. I am a resident of El Dorado County, and I am a volunteer for the American Red Cross. I want to thank all the responders and all the Firewise communities for everything that you are doing. Being part of the American Red Cross, we're talking about outreach and education. We have a lot of resources that could be offered to each and every one of your Firewise community. We do CPR first aid training, wildfire preparedness, be Red Cross ready. We can train the trainer. If you want to be trained as a trainer, we can train you so you can go out and train your communities. We also do Pedro training. What's that? Your kindergarten to second grade, we train the children on how to respond and what to do in a fire situation, whether it be wildfire or a single home fire. Okay? American Red Cross we're recognizing the fire season is here. We are ready. We have logistics that is ready to respond, sheltering, mass care, DAT, and feeding. DAT is your single fire or apartment. I'm certified in that. I'm on call 24/7. Okay. Sheltering, that's mass care. Should there be a fire that comes out in El Dorado County, El Dorado County, call us the Red Cross, take over, we're available. Another thing that we do have is spiritual, mental health, and physical health in the shelters, or even on a single fire, residential fire. We have people that are there to help the community get through the crisis that they're currently going through. We are also looking for volunteers. All of you are volunteers as well. 95% of the Red Cross is volunteers. We're looking for recruiting into our DAT, mass care, sheltering, feeding. And I am in the Cool area. I know we have ALT, Cool Pilot Hill, Safety Councils, Cherry Acres. I'm recruiting for some assistance. I am the only Red Cross volunteer on the Divide. I need help. We do smoke alarm installation. Okay, we had a call come in from Pilot Hill. We had to wait 6 weeks because I needed someone come down with me to do the installation, because when we do the installation, we aren't only doing installation, we're doing education. Okay, so I will be available if any of you would be interested in the Red Cross coming in, being a speaker for your groups. I do have flyers available and some flyers on the different recruiting positions we are looking for.
And you'll be here after the meeting,
Yes, I will be available.
and your
yes.
contact information will be available back there?
Correct.
Your name was Eileen?
Eileen Parr.
Okay, thank you, Eileen.
Thank you.
Thank you for what you do.
Yes.
Okay, public comment, go ahead. 3 minutes. I have the stopwatch.
Understood. I've got something to give to all of you there first. My name is Bill Bright with the California Pilots Association. There's enough copies for each of you. Yes, you are. Understood. Last month, I had come to speak about the issue of the fire line on the east side of Placerville Airport. And my apologies to Paul for not getting back to you. I had a family matter that preoccupied my time this past month. This flyer is actually part of the Gold Country's airport website. And the front page is from the 1970s. When there was a slurry mixing station on the east end of the airport. If you go to page 2, you look at where the FAA had put in the improvements about 20 years ago. And there is no fire hydrant line there because of efficiency. The engineering has been done, and I will be getting some of those details to the council. The one question that I have is that if you go on to page 3, the airport community has identified there's 2 current roads into Placerville Airport. But on the very east end, you'll notice there's a green line that is actually coming across private property. That, from my understanding, about 20 years ago, the fire marshal had identified that road as an escape route for the community to be able to go through the airport grounds. My question is, and I need some help on this, if that was identified as an emergency road by the county fire marshal, could that also be used as an emergency ingress and egress for CAL FIRE if they have to surge onto the airport? How could I find that information to help add that to this conversation of getting these fire hydrants on the east end for being able to have slurry mixing? The example is when the Caldor fire happened. For 30 days, CAL FIRE had a surge of somewhere between 300 to 500 personnel on the airport. And there was traffic jams trying to get up the airport road with that very tight hairpin turn, needing to bring slurry mixtures, fuel, et cetera, on a very small road. Trying to figure out how to simplify this for the long term. But that's where my question is. Thank you for all the work that you're doing, and I'm going to do what I can to help further how we can make this community safer with this errand of last time. Any questions? I'll be here.
Just to let you know, following our meeting last month, I did give the general manager at EID a heads up about this issue. So she is familiar with it, and so we'll follow up with them. Just be advised that, I gave her the heads up.
Understood, and hopefully we can talk after the meeting.
Sure. And then, Gina, true, that mosquito document is a work of art. And I talked with Johnny Valenzuela, who put it together, and I said, well, can you make it usually, available? And he went, it's way too complex. I said, well, would you be willing to do a session so for our folks could customize it? And he was receptive to that. So I'll talk with Dorothy about doing something like that in the future.
Thank you. Anybody else?
Hi, this is Paul Gilchrist online.
Go ahead, Paul.
Hey, yeah, I just wanted to follow up to what Paul Penman said, is that from the interaction I had with the gentleman last week about Placerville, I made the fire chief aware of it, and I can also connect him with the current fire marshal who would probably be able to give him all the answers he is seeking.
Thank you.
Thank you, Paul.
I'll give him your number.
Okay, anything else? Yeah, Angel, Paul Angel is
I'll give him your
gonna
number.
be the interface here. Okay, anything else for the good of the order? Yes, sir.
Hi, I'll make this brief. It's Rich Moynihan from Toronto Fire Safe Council. Yesterday, our strategic team had a meeting relative to our communication plan going forward. We spent the last 2.5, 3 years trying to motivate our community to be more fire wise and to practice the same practices that everybody else was doing relative to defensive space and fire resistance around home. We hung our hat really on the insurance factor there for quite a long time. Serrano, I know, is a little bit different than many of the other communities that participate in the Alvarado Fire Safe Council. We're on the very far western edge. It is an HOA community, maintenance of front lawns is done by the community, but we have 900 acres of open space that presents a threat to the community as a whole. So it was really just a suggestion, board, that perhaps maybe you could use your sway to help us try and use the insurance card a little bit and maybe have a presentation in the future from Board of Forestry or Department of Insurance here to help educate the rest of the fire safe councils on what's going on with Zone 0. So just a request, maybe other councils are interested in that.
I think Elizabeth will be on that.
Thank you, Rich. Anything else? Is that it? David, how many screw ups did I make?
It was 16 at last count.
Okay. Okay, I wanna thank everybody for attending. So much thanks to the people at this table, including these two holding my hand through this. Thank you for coming. We'll see you next month.